Okay, so I want you to try and picture a specific kind of heat. And I don't just mean, the temperature, though we are in ancient India, so it is definitely hot.
Sure.
I mean the social heat, the pressure. We're in a royal court, maybe, 3,000 years ago?
Roughly, yeah.
It's the court of King Janaka, and the room is just packed with men.
And not just any men. I mean, these are the intellectual heavyweights of the Iron Age.
Yeah.
The sages, the ritualists, the people who claim to know exactly how the universe works.
Exactly. So it's crowded, it's probably loud, and in the middle of this sweaty, tense room, there is this prize that is honestly kind of ridiculous.
It is.
It's a herd of 1,000 cows. But here's the detail that gets me. Every single one of those cows has 10 gold coins tied to its horns.
That's a massive amount of wealth. In an agrarian society, that's like a Powerball jackpot just sitting in the middle of the
A literal jackpot.
Yeah.
So everyone is eyeing these cows. And the king, Janaka, he hasn't just put them there for a rodeo. He wants to know who the smartest person in the world is. He's basically said, the one of you who is the Brahmanishta, the supreme knower of reality, you get the cows.
And this is where the context is so important. Because usually kings in this period, they're worried about territory or war or taxes.
Right, the usual stuff.
But Janaka is what history calls a philosopher king.
Which sounds great on paper, but I imagine it was pretty stressful for his court.
Probably. But you have to understand the shift happening in the culture at this time.
Okay.
For centuries, the Vedic religion was all about the performance. You do the ritual, you say the hymn, you pour the butter in the fire, and the gods give you rain.
It was transactional.
Totally transactional. But around 800 BCE, people started asking, wait, what's behind the ritual? What is the force that makes the fire burn? What's the reality behind the gods?
So they're going from how do I get rain to what is the nature of existence?
Exactly. They were hunting for Brahman, the ultimate reality, and Atman, the self. And Janaka is using these cows, this massive material symbol, to try and buy the ultimate immaterial truth.
He's shaking the tree to see which genius falls out.
That's a great way to put it.
And this is where the heist happens. Because it really feels like a heist movie for a second. The king makes the offer. Who is the wisest? And the silence in that room must have been so heavy.
Oh, for sure. You don't just claim that title lightly.
No.
Right. If you claim it and you lose the debate that follows, you're humiliated.
Yeah.
Or, worse.
So nobody moves until this one sage, Yajnavalkya, stands up. And I love this guy's confidence, or arrogance, depending on how you look at it.
A lot of both, I think.
He doesn't start a speech. He doesn't bow to the king. He just turns to his student and says, son, drive these cows to my house.
It's such a power move.
It is.
He's essentially saying, I don't need to debate you people. I know I'm the wisest, so the prize is already mine.
Can you just imagine the room? The other sages must have absolutely lost their minds. He's taking the gold before the game has even started.
Oh, they were furious. The text describes them jumping up, shouting, how dare you call yourself the wisest among us?
And so the debate begins.
And it begins not because Yajnavalkya wanted to debate, but because the others were trying to stop him from leaving with the loot. They grill him. One by one, the ritualists, the head priests, they throw their hardest theological curveballs at him.
And he's just swatting them away, right?
Effortlessly.
Yeah.
He deconstructs their arguments. He exposes their ignorance. I mean, he is wiping the floor with the entire male establishment of the Vedic world.
The entire establishment.
Until she stands up.
Yes.
Yes. Enter Gargi Vachaknavi.
Now, set the scene for me. In a room full of bearded sages and a king, how unusual is it for a woman to stand up and say, okay, I've got a question?
It's complicated. It wasn't forbidden, obviously, because she's there.
Right.
But it was certainly rare. Gargi is the daughter of a sage, Vachaknavi. So she comes from a lineage of learning. He's part of a group called Brahmavadinis.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means women who dedicated their lives to studying the Vedas instead of, or maybe alongside, domestic life.
So she's a professional intellectual?
Yeah, she is. But the dynamic changes the moment she speaks. The other men, they were asking about rituals, about how many gods there are, technicalities. Gargi doesn't care about that. She wants to know how the universe is built.
And she uses this very specific imagery, something about weaving.
Right, the warp and woof. It's a metaphor from the loom. If you look at a piece of cloth, the threads hold each other together. She's asking for the substratum, the foundation.
Okay, so she starts with water. She asks, if all this earthly world is woven warp and woof on water, then what is water woven on?
Which is a very ancient scientific idea, right?
Yeah.
That the earth rests on a primeval ocean. So she's asking, what supports the ocean?
And Yajnavalkya says,
Air.
air.
Meaning the atmosphere.
Right.
Which makes sense physically. The water is held by the air.
But she doesn't stop. And this is what I love about her method. She acts like a toddler who just learned the word why. She immediately asks, okay, but what is the air woven on?
And this is where we get into what's called regressive analysis. She is forcing him to climb the ladder of the cosmos. He says air is supported by the sky.
And she asks, and what is the sky woven on?
He says the world of the Gandharvas, they're sort of celestial spirits.
And the Gandharvas.
The sun.
And the sun.
The moon. Then the stars. Then the world of the gods. Then the world of Indra, the king of gods. Then the world of Prajapati, the creator.
It's dizzying. She is literally chasing him right to the edge of the universe.
All the way to the edge.
Forcing him to admit that every single layer of reality depends on a higher, more subtle one. It's like peeling an onion, right? But the onion is the entire cosmos.
And she's doing it so fast, just boom, boom, boom. She is backing him into a corner. Because, well, eventually you run out of things, you just run out of nouns.
And she hits that wall. She asks, on what are the worlds of Prajapati, the creator, woven? And Yajnavalkya plays his trump card. He says, the worlds of Brahman, the ultimate reality.
The final stop.
And Gargi, being Gargi, asks the one question you are not supposed to ask, on what is Brahman woven?
And that is the record scratch. The whole room just stops.
Yajnavalkya snaps. He tells her, and this is a direct quote, Gargi, do not question too much, lest your head should fall off.
It's a shocking moment in the text.
I mean, is that a threat? Is he actually saying, shut up or I'll decapitate you? Because that seems a little unsportsmanlike.
It sounds like a physical threat to our modern ears, and some feminist scholars definitely read it that way, as a silencing tactic.
Like, you're a woman, you've pushed the great man too far, sit down.
Exactly, and there's for sure a power dynamic there. But in the context of these ancient debates, your head falling off was actually... it was a term of art.
A term of art, like saying you're going to crash your computer.
A little bit, yeah. The idea was that the human mind is a vessel. It's a container. Logic is a tool for navigating the finite world. Gargi is asking for the cause of the first cause.
Right.
She's asking what supports the thing that supports everything.
It's a logical paradox.
It is. If Brahman is the infinite foundation, it can't have a foundation. If you try to wrap your finite mind around the infinite, you create a short circuit.
So he's warning her.
He's warning her that she is trying to intellectualize something that is beyond intellect. He's saying, if you keep trying to use logic where logic doesn't apply, you will shatter your own mind.
So it's more like a safety warning on a high voltage box. Do not touch, will kill you.
Precisely. And we know this because in another debate, a man named Shakalya kept pushing past that limit, and the text says his head actually did fall off.
Whoa. Okay, so the stakes were literal.
The ancient world took philosophy very, very seriously.
So Gargi sits down, round one is over. And if the story ended there, we'd say, okay, brave woman, but she lost.
Right.
But she doesn't stay seated.
No. She regroups, she lets the other men have a go, and they all fail, by the way. Yajnavalkya just destroys them.
Of course.
And then when the silence falls again, Gargi stands up for a second time.
And the vibe is different this time, right? She's not just curious anymore. She's aggressive.
She addresses the whole assembly. She uses this incredible martial metaphor. She says, I am rising to challenge him again, like a fierce warrior from Kashi or Videha, stringing a refined bow.
She calls herself an archer.
She does. She says, I have 2 foe-piercing arrows in my hand. She is telling the entire room, I am not here to chat. I am here to combat.
Wow.
And she takes control of the entire event. She tells the Brahmins, I'm going to ask him 2 questions. If he can answer these, then none of you can ever defeat him.
She effectively appoints herself the judge.
Yes.
She's saying, I'm the final boss. If he gets past me, he wins.
Which is just an incredible claim to authority. She is holding the room hostage with her intellect.
So she draws the bow, first arrow. She asks him about the container of the universe again, but she broadens it.
She does.
She asks, that which is above the sky, that which is beneath the earth, and that which is between them, what they call past, present, and future, upon what is that woven warp and woof?
Just think about that question. She's bundling everything, space, matter, and time.
Whole.
She's asking, what holds the timeline together?
And Yajnavalkya answers, space, or akasha. The ether.
Which is the correct answer in their physics.
Yeah.
Space is the container for time and matter. But Gargi knew he would say that. That was just the setup.
That was the feint. Here comes the second arrow. The kill shot, she looks at him and asks, across what is space itself woven, warp and woof?
This is the moment.
Yes.
This is it. She has stripped away everything. Matter, time, stars, gods, even the empty void of space itself. She asks, what holds the void?
It feels like a trap. I mean, if he says another space, it's an infinite loop. If he says nothing, the universe collapses. How does he answer that without his head falling off?
He switches gears completely. He stops using nouns. He stops describing objects. He begins to describe the akshara, the imperishable, but he describes it by what it is not. This is the famous neti method.
Not this, not that.
Exactly. Imagine trying to describe wetness to a fish that has never been out of the ocean. You can't point to the water and say that's wet because the fish thinks that's just everything. You have to say it's not dry, it's not solid, it's not air.
So Yajnavalkya starts rattling off this list of negatives. I have it here, he says. It is neither gross nor subtle, neither short nor long, neither glowing red like fire nor fluid like water.
He says it has no shadow, no darkness, no air, no space. It's without eyes, without ears, without voice, without mind.
It eats nothing and nothing eats it.
He is stripping away every single attribute that the human mind can grasp. He is pointing to a reality that exists, that exists before existence.
Like a blank screen?
It's the blank screen upon which the movie of the universe is projected. The screen isn't the movie, but the movie can't exist without the screen.
And he says this, imperishable is what holds the sun and moon in place. It's like the operating system of the cosmos.
Yes. He says that without this imperishable commander, time wouldn't flow, rivers wouldn't run, is the absolute anchor.
The room must have been dead silent. He didn't just give a name, he gave a profound mystical vision.
And Gargi knows it. And this is the beauty of the ending. She doesn't argue, she doesn't nitpick. She recognizes the truth when she hears it.
She turns to the assembly, this room full of grumpy men who wanted the cows, and she delivers the verdict.
She
says, you Brahmins should consider yourselves lucky if you can get away with just bowing to this man. None of you will ever defeat him in a debate about Brahman.
I love that line. Consider yourselves lucky to get out of here with your dignity.
But wait, does that mean she lost? I mean, she declared him the winner?
See, that's the superficial reading. She asked, he answered, she sat down. But look at what she actually achieved. She positioned herself as the only person in that room capable of validating him.
Oh, I see. It's like a peer review.
Exactly. If Einstein explains relativity to a room of kindergartners, and one student stands up and says, yes, your math on the curvature of space-time is correct, that student isn't a loser. That student is the co-author of the truth. Gargi verified the gold. Without her rigorous questioning, Yajnavalkya would have just taken the cows and left. We never would have gotten that definition of the imperishable. She extracted it from him.
So she's not the defeated opponent. She's the catalyst.
She's the midwife of the wisdom.
That's a powerful reframing. So zooming out, this was 3,000 years ago. Why does this matter to someone listening to this deep dive on their commute today?
Well, first there's the obvious legacy. Gargi is a massive figure in Indian history. Gargi College in New Delhi is named after her. It's a premier women's college.
Okay.
She represents the fact that women have always been in the intellectual ring, even if the history books often leave them out. She's up there with Hypatia of Alexandria or Diotima, who taught Socrates.
But beyond the feminist icon status, what about the method?
That's the real takeaway for me. Gargi invented, or at least she perfected, the scientific method of inquiry. She didn't accept its magic or its gods. She asked, what is the mechanism?
The onion peeling.
Right. Think about modern physics. We asked, what is matter? Molecules, what's inside molecules? Atoms, inside atoms. Protons, inside protons.
Quarks. We're still playing Gargi's game.
We are still playing Gargi's game. We are still looking for the warp and woof. We just use particle accelerators instead of metaphors.
And I suppose there's a lesson in the way they debated, too.
A huge lesson. In Indian philosophy, they distinguish between Vedanta and Vaida. Vedanta is what you see on Twitter or cable news. It's debating to destroy the other person, to humiliate them, to win at all costs.
Destructive debate.
Right. But Vada, which is what Gargi and Yajnavalkya were doing, is collaborative debate. It's two people wrestling with an idea to get to the truth. It's respectful, it's rigorous, and the goal isn't I win, the goal is we understand.
That is a refreshing concept. Imagine if our political debates were Vada.
We can dream.
So we have this image of Gargi, the archer with the 2 arrows. She pushed the smartest man of her age to the brink of silence, threatened with her head falling off, and she didn't flinch. She demanded to know what holds up the universe.
And she reminds us that the answer isn't always a thing. Sometimes the answer is the silence behind the things.
I think I want to leave the listener with that thought. In your own life, are you just looking at the water, the surface level problems, the emails, the notifications? Or are you asking the Gargi question, what supports this? What is the warp and woof of your reality?
And are you brave enough to ask the question that just might make your head fall off?
Hopefully, not literally. Thanks for diving deep with us today. Keep asking the hard questions. We'll see you next time.